The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
Crispy barbecue zinger from KFC. Available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, Tufton welcomes PNP request for audit on CRH, dismissing claims of cost overrun. Manchester residents protest police killing. Decision 2025 inches closer as JLP fills empty spots. In Tech Pulse, it's investigating life-saving gadgets for disaster zones. And in the Business Report, Education 4.0, the launch of a national AI lab. While in sports, the Reggae Boys face Guatemala in World Cup qualifiers. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Tuesday, June 10, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks so much for having joined us. The Health Ministry is pushing back against opposition claims that the cost of rehabilitating Cornwall Regional Hospital has ballooned to $24 billion. Speaking in Parliament today, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton dismissed the allegations while unveiling major plans for Kingston Public Hospital. Chantae McNeil tells us more.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is welcoming the opposition's call for a special audit into the Cornwall Regional Hospital rehab project, a project marred by delays and controversy. The request made by PNP caretakers in St. James came with claims of massive cost overruns and a ballooning price tag. But in his sectoral debate addressed Tuesday, Dr. Tufton denied the figure had reached $24 billion. While acknowledging setbacks, he described the estimate as a projection, not an expense.
Let me just outline. The government has so far spent more than $9.4 billion on Cornwall Regional Project, not the $24 billion. As a matter of fact, every time I hear opposition member reference Cornwall Regional, they move the figure from 23 to 26 to 27. So let me just say, up to now, up to this point, we have spent $9.4 billion.
He dismissed the opposition's narrative as dishonest, defending the government's approach as comprehensive, not cosmetic. Instead of patchwork solutions, he says they're fixing the hospital from the ground up, something he says the PNP has had challenge acknowledging.
There's a old tale that says fools and children should not be shown unfinished work, because there is the potential of misunderstanding what the finished work will look like. I'm not accusing the opposition of the former, but they are acting like kindergarten children when it comes to trying to assess in a deep way what challenges we face with such a life-saving institution and why it was necessary to take the action that needed to be taken.
As for suggestion that the hospital underperformed during the 6-year closure of its main building, Dr. Tufton rejected the claim, pointing to hospital records showing otherwise.
In 2024, outpatients saw 86,000 visits, rounding off the figures, accident and emergency 40,000, inpatient 13,000, surgeries 3,101, lab tests 1.7 million, oncology 11,000 plus chemotherapy treatment, 612 patients receiving radiotherapy treatment on the Linac machine, and some 10,000 treatment for dialysis. Wow. Cornwall Regional, Mr. Speaker, at the end of it is a case study on how not to maintain a government infrastructure. And we must all learn from it.
Now, with the long-delayed hospital upgrade nearing completion, he says attention is turning to the Kingston Public Hospital, which has been plagued with challenges due to the age of the plant and poor maintenance. This after a shocking announcement of a new KPH.
I'm happy to announce that we have now identified lands for lease to purchase and have commenced plans for a new KPH. Mr. Speaker, a land use survey report was prepared on the properties around KPH, inclusive of the 35 parcels identified, and the National Land Agency is coordinating the compulsory acquisition of the required lands. More will be said about this, Mr. Speaker, in the future, but we have to now focus on KPH while we learn the lessons from the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
Chantae, McNeil, CVM News.
The Jamaica Labour Party is inching closer to filling the vacant candidate slots in 2 critical seats, replacing veterans Karl Samuda and Audley. Yesterday, the party's General Secretary named Senators Delano Seiveright and former U.S. Ambassador Audrey Marks to vie for the seats.
An unofficial announcement on radio last evening has left many Jamaicans convinced that the governing Jamaica Labour Party and its secretariat has come to some semblance of conclusion on who should replace outgoing veteran Karl Samuda in North Central St. Andrew. A heated campaign of sorts was halted by the party when 2 people, Senator Delano Seiveright and Christian Tavares-Finson, son of Senate President Tom Tavares-Finson, expressed an interest in the seat. JLP General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang told the media tourism strategist and Senator Seiveright will vie on the party's behalf in the pending general elections for the coveted seat. A seat held for several years by Samuda both as a member of the Jamaica Labour Party and even once as a member of the People's National Party. Some party insiders said it was only fair to lean to the applicant who the MP more favoured as his replacement, which was said to be Seiveright. It's unclear what this decision will mean for the young Tavares-Finson. An official announcement is expected by Monday, but some within the party are already saying this is the green light long awaited. Meantime, Dr. Chang also indicated that newly minted government senator, cabinet minister and entrepreneur Audrey Marks will replace their longtime candidate and former finance minister in northeastern Manchester, Audley. Marks was on the ground in the constituency on Tuesday. 2 aspirants also expressed an interest in that seat, but neither emerged as a successful applicant. Critics are opining on what this could mean for the party and those vying for these seats.
Of course, we saw there's a back and forth that would have been happening as it relates to the selection of a candidate for North Central. Now, we also saw after that the party pulled back and said they would restart the process on block, and they have done that, had their meetings, and now they're showing the country, I would say, that they are finalizing things for the upcoming general elections. It just says that the JLP is obviously now taking the candidate selection for at least the seats left unsettled very seriously. And we know time is running out because we're inching closer and closer to September.
Sondre Roden, a political commentator, admits these are 2 critical seats the governing JLP will need to retain as it seeks a 3rd term at the helm. Calls to the incumbents' phones this afternoon for a comment on the developments went unanswered. Mr. Shaw served Northeast Manchester from 1993 to present, while Mr. Samuda has been serving North Central St. Andrew since 1980.
Shifting gear now. Residents of Mandville, Manchester continue to dispute police claims of a confrontation that led to last Wednesday's fatal shooting of a Lucky Street man. They staged a protest this morning, blocking the Knockpatrick Main Road. With the details, here's Chantae, McNeil.
Family and friends of the late Moses Morgan, otherwise called Osa, who was fatally shot by police at his Lucky Street residence in Mandville, Manchester last Wednesday, are echoing their pleas for justice. On Tuesday morning, they blocked a section of the Knockpatrick Main Road bearing placards while calling on the relevant authorities to bring the officers involved to justice. Osa was killed during what police allege was a confrontation inside his house, but residents continue to challenge those claims.
So we want justice. We need justice. They kill him cold-blooded. Cold-blooded.
I say have gun on in their name. Take off no gun on fire. A 2-shot him get on a 2-shot fire and they say a shoot.
I know a blood don't leak out
And
time
now
with
not
the shot
even
them.
blood. In front time big.
Murder them, murder him.
Thank son and take after
We can't get no
them
justice
dragging
for the
and
police,
shut
so
the
we
door
need
and tell the
justice.
son to run.
They claim while protesting, some officers hurled threats, igniting deeper fear and frustration.
One night police come and tell me cousin say, Lancaster police. tell me cousin say him a go shoot him and kill him and make him go Lynch go lie down beside Osa just a while ago for no reason. I say he is coming back, so him a come back to go kill him. So tell me if we don't need justice. Me no want no justice, me need it.
Relatives complain the situation has left them traumatized.
Every day me cry for me look consider we just bury my grandmother. We just bury my grandmother. We just bury my grandmother. And we know we are going to bury my cousin now. Me not tell no lie. Sometimes me like police, sometimes me, oh God, he has some nice and he has some wicked. God not better than the kind me. And lock him up. Me not tell no lie. Every day me pressure go up. Every day me pressure go up. I had to for me month then kill him June. For me month so me gonna have this a traumatized every day when my birthday come.
According to police reports, officers were patrolling the Peter Lane area in search of a man seen with a firearm when Morgan was seen behaving suspiciously before he allegedly ran into his house, clutching his waistband. After pursuing him inside, they say he grabbed an officer's rifle. A struggle reportedly ensued that led to the officer shooting him twice. They say a firearm with 3 live rounds was found in his waistband. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Indicom is investigating the incident. Chantae McNeil, CVM News.
To this CVM News follow-up, the case of a St. Catherine's schoolgirl who was abused, then killed by a man familiar to her, was rendered closed when he was killed during a confrontation with crime fighters following intense investigations. However, in saying farewell to one innocent child, the real solution evidently depends on the nation. More from Curlin Brown.
This is not an isolated incident, but guess what? We don't like to admit the truth. There are many women who have gone through this. Many women in Jamaica have gone through sexual abuse in their home, and we need to call it that. And we need to stop pretending that those who are in our family are innocent. They are not innocent. And it is up to us to play our role in calling out these people. It doesn't help us when we say, oh, it's my family member, it's my brother, it's my cousin.
The education minister did not stop there. Having declared there are boys and girls right there in the church who are being abused, her plea, we must identify, report and treat the tendencies that lead to violence and as a country not allow this to become a norm. The call for action was not only national. As the Minister of Gender, Olivia Grange, says there must be a way for Kelsey Ferdigan's life to mean more than her death. The Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Central, looking down on the casket with the remains of a young constituent, the late 9-year-old St. John's primary student who was assaulted and murdered at home, was direct.
I make a special appeal that we be more vigilant as we continue working together to care for and protect our children. We must be deliberate in fostering a safe environment for our children.
And in a country striving for justice, law and order, the minister underscores the swift action of the force in bringing closure to this case, conveying a strong message, a message echoed in different tones, and no time to pretend.
We cannot afford to pretend that our children are safe when they are not. You have seen the results of our determination, and there was no doubt around our findings as to the person who was responsible. No doubt, absolutely no.
Curlin Brown, CVM News.
Our news package continues in a moment.
The last eclipse of our galaxy. Scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The crispy barbecue zinger is back with barbecue sauce, cheddar cheese, bacon, and crispy onions on a spicy zinger filet. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in tiny beats of our most intimate moments, to the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So, even when things go out of sync, we know what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing no matter what.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has put forward his plan to have specially trained police officers provide counseling services to Jamaicans experiencing domestic violence. This, he explains, will be the fix to rampant gender-based violence in the country.
Murder has declined by 44%, but Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says gender-based violence is increasing. At a recent constituency conference in St. Catharines, South Central, the Prime Minister urged Jamaicans to put an end to this growing problem negatively impacting the country.
Many of our women and children are suffering serious abuse. Serious abuse. And I have looked at the figures recently, and I'm here to also tell you that some of our men are also experiencing serious domestic abuse. If we do not deal with this issue of the violence that is entrenched in the society, we will reduce the murders, but you will not be able to still live in peace. Because as we are seeing now, as murders by gun is reducing, what we are now seeing coming into play is murders by stabbing, domestic murders.
The Prime Minister says no efforts will be spared in ensuring the problem is addressed, including establishing dedicated units within police stations across the country, staffed with officers trained to provide counseling to Jamaicans wanting to resolve domestic disputes.
We have put in place the domestic violence intervention centers, and they are right across Jamaica. We have one in Constant Spring, Matilda's Corner, Maypen, Santa Cruz. We have one in St. Catherine in Portmore, in Negril, Gale in St. Mary, Bobby, in St. Thomas, St. Elizabeth, and St. Anne. And I want to announce tonight that you see that brand new police station that we are building, which will host the St. Catherine North. We are going to put there one of these domestic violence intervention centers. It will be a state-of-the-art one. And what these centers do is that if you end up in an argument with somebody and it looks like it is going to go to violence and you have to go to report it, what we have is a special unit. Sometimes it's going to be located on site but in a different location with the proper counseling and the proper support, so that we can ensure that if you have a problem and you can't handle a problem, before that problem escalates to you pull your knife and stab somebody or take acid and throw upon somebody, you just go there and say, listen, officer, I have this problem. And these police officers are specially trained. They're not coming to kick down your door and box and beat you. They are coming there with the special training of how to counsel you through this challenge.
Chantae, McNeil, CVM News.
Farmers in Westmoreland are calling on the government to put measures in place to stop goat theft. They are suggesting the government implements predial larceny-focused police operations in their communities. Adrian Williams has more.
Amid the rise in goat theft across Westmoreland, disgruntled farmers are urging the government to provide greater protection in combating the scourge. Byron Williams, who operates a farm with over 70 goats, says he has suffered greatly at the hands of thieves. He wants the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries to enforce the functions of the Predial Larceny Prevention Unit, with the police conducting predial larceny-focused operations in targeted communities like Hartford, Petersfield, Grange Hill, Darliston, and Frome.
If they to give us anything down here, they say we are too far. So we need protection. We need, I hear the minister talking about the predial larceny police in every station. But we wish if they are in Westmoreland, they could go around the farms and especially register farmer like I and others. We need to see more people, more policing in our community, because we having problem with predial larceny, and because of that we can't tell who doing it, or we just wake up, lose our animal.
Williams says he has tried to protect his animals over the years, which has been challenging. He went further, telling our news team not only has he lost his goats to thieves, but has suffered the misfortune of them being attacked and eaten by dogs.
Right now I have 76 goats, and every time I go above that, either animal or thief come and thief them. Just last week they tried to thief my cow and his calf, and also I have lost a sheep and also a young ewe last week, just the same. Last year I lost 20 mother goat by thief and also dog. So we have been struggling that. We believe in Jamaica, but we have been struggling with this.
He's suggesting the government provide land space specific to goat rearing, as well as farming equipment like fencing to help keep the dogs out.
On behalf of the Westmoreland farmers and also a group that I'm a vice president of, that is Next Gen, I'm asking the government if he can do something for us here, because we are lobbying for a long time about getting some land space that we can raise our animal and we can fence them up, pasture it up, or plant our grass and do better for ourselves. At least we can overcome the dog.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
There's lots more to come after the break, so stay with us.
The last eclipse of our galaxy, scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The crispy barbecue zinger is back with barbecue sauce, cheddar cheese, bacon, and crispy onions on a spicy zinger filet. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
One strict, one slit, and the other. Ghetto Misfits presents Leslie Last Boy. One son with three fathers. The hilariously moving Father's Day stand-up comedy special with IT Ellis plus surprise guests. Leslie Last Boy. One son with three fathers. Sunday, June 15, Courtney Auditorium. Gates open 5 p.m. Showtime 6:30 sharp. Get your tickets now at SpurOpen.com. Info line 876-542-4160. Laughter guaranteed.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Continuing the news, the government of Jamaica continues its push to improve infrastructure in flood-prone communities. Today, residents of St. Catherine welcomed a major development, the official handing over of the Mighton Gully drainage system, spearheaded by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. Residents of southwestern St. Catherine have lived under threat, not from crime and violence, but from rising waters. Flooding in this constituency is not a possibility, it's a certainty, but now there's a sense of relief. On Tuesday, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, handed over the completed Mighton Gully drainage system, a crucial infrastructure project designed to divert floodwaters and protect vulnerable areas. Director of JSIF, Omar Sweeney, says when it rains in this constituency, it pours.
But here in Big Pond, Mighton Gully, we saw a situation where whenever we would have hurricane season, heavy rainfall, the water in some areas, the engineers will tell us 2.5 meters. I will tell you that is almost 10 feet high after the rainfall. Persons were marooned, persons were trapped, right? And the water could take as long as 6 weeks to subside.
But not everyone is convinced. Member of Parliament Everald Warmington acknowledged that while the project is a win, there are still concerns among residents that could pose a challenge.
A lot of our citizens that have built shops and business places on the riverbank in Bannister, Davis come down and I'm in trouble. Because we advised them years ago, you can't build on the gully bank with a shop or house because there's a big project coming. I have no intention of allowing a few trespassers to threaten the livelihood of others. They were told, and I'm sure people are waiting to get big compensation for shop and houses in Gully Bank. They were warned long before not to put it there.
And as Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made his way through the area, he says there is a tendency to overlook the government's efforts.
What you hear is of the communities that don't have water. What you don't hear is of the communities that have gotten water. What you hear of is the places that are flooded out because of poor drainage. But what you don't hear of is that we have fixed this problem that has existed for decades in the Mighton Gully, spending over 370 million Jamaican dollars to expand the waterway with 4 culverts and to pave the invert for over 200 meters. Yes. 38,000 people who live in this area who would normally be affected, plus all the traffic that moves through, no longer has this inconvenience.
Work on the Mighton Gully drainage system project began in 2016. A clean coat of paint can do more than brighten walls. It can restore dignity and boost productivity. And that's exactly what the Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica is doing at the Maypen Police Station. As part of their 40th anniversary celebration, the association is giving back one brush stroke at a time. More in this report.
It's a typical day at the Maypen Police Station. Officers are on duty, cases are being filed, and investigations continue. But today, something feels different. The Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica is completing a long overdue makeover of the Criminal Investigation Branch, CIB. President of the LMAJ Clarendon chapter, Winsome Gregory, says when she observed the state of the building, a renovation had to be done. She says the project will be ongoing.
Oh, when I came here, I observed that the situation was in a bad state. And so I decided that this project will not only end here, it will be ongoing. We will be doing another project from maybe the parish chapter sometime this year because I'm promised some more paint and a printer. And we will be doing another parish project from here, and we will be trying to outfit the CIB department in short order.
The project is part of the association's 40th anniversary celebrations, rooted in the theme of service and justice. Detective Corporal Craig Davis, assigned to the Maypen Police Station, says this project is one the JCF appreciates, particularly given the work the officers do daily.
We know the work that the members of the JCF put in on a daily basis, and resources are always scarce. And it's important for stakeholders to partner with us, to assist us, because whatever they do in helping us helps with the reduction in crime. So we are very honored, we are very pleased, because these things go well.
Angela Melville, CVM News.
There's so much more to come on the other side of the break.
The crispy barbecue zinger from KFC. Available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The time by KFC is...
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Audrey Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
So glad you stayed. Now, with the hurricane season officially underway, President of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, JAPS, Linvern Wright, believes more should have already been in place to prepare schools for the season. More from Adrian Williams.
As we dive into the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, various preparations are rolling out, but one school leader says this is too late. In addition to the National Hurricane Center's prediction of 13 to 19 named storms this year, President of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, JAPS, Linvern Wright, believes with the high usage of schools for various events, more attention should have been given to ensuring their readiness.
And I think schools being institutions that host political meetings, they host public functions, they host our students, and you know, for the import at the moment, they host our vulnerable who, if it is that a storm comes and blows them out, the school hosts them. We really ought to ensure that all our schools are of the integrity where, because they are shelters, they can be places of refuge for people, and we are confident about it.
Wright expressed concern at what he deems a late start to getting schools ready for the season, adding that the infrastructure is important on various levels.
What I think we have never had as a country, you know, is just faith in the infrastructure, in integrity of the infrastructure that we have. And schools have for a long time been shelters. But I think the maintenance work that should be done at schools is something that has not been consistently done. We are waiting too much on the moment to come for us to do the repairs.
The JAPS president is imploring the government to grant the National Education Trust (NET) requested funds to undertake important work within secondary schools.
I've heard that the National Education Trust is seeking some money from Cabinet to do some work. I'd implore Cabinet to work with this body, because I think they have been very efficient in terms of how they have been managing whatever funds they've got. And it's the first I've seen the level of work being done by anybody with the level of efficiency that they have conducted.
So far in the season, the National Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on 3 tropical waves in the Atlantic Ocean. Adrian Williams reporting for CVM News.
Well, with 17 named storms, 9 hurricanes and 4 major ones forecasted for 2025, small island developing states or SIDS must act now to strengthen resilience. From portable generators to AI-driven rescue tools, technology is reshaping disaster preparedness. Whether keeping the lights on or leading rescuers to safety, these innovations are game changers. It's time for Tech Pulse. In Tech Pulse, from power outages to communication breakdowns, extreme weather events can cripple essential services. This week, we spotlight cutting-edge innovations designed to keep communities powered, connected, and safe when the unexpected happens. First up are portable generators. Power when you need it most. Hurricanes can knock out electricity for days. The Champion 2500 dual-fuel generator delivers 11 hours of runtime, while the Honda EU 3200i offers precision-engineered reliability, perfect for medical equipment. Here's a take on the Honda model.
Whenever you're operating a portable generator, safety is the main concern, and this does have a carbon monoxide cutoff sensor. It'll kind of sense the atmosphere around it. You don't ever want to run these indoors. You don't want to run them near your RV, your camper, or home. So I put this way out, run a long extension cable to my generator hookup right here, and get it nice and far away from the house and aim it this way so that the exhaust shoots out. One of the main reasons why I wanted to test this generator, 2 reasons. Its size, it's super compact, and it fits beautifully in the corner of my garage. Doesn't take up valuable space that I'm using for bikes, wheels and tires, and cars, and of course my son's toys. And it's just lightweight and very quiet.
Next up is the Air Marker, a lifeline for most lost hikers. Imagine being stranded in the wilderness with no way to signal for help. Well, the Air Marker R100 inflates a bright orange balloon visible for 3 days, guiding rescue teams to your location.
Emergencies happen every day in the outdoors. It doesn't matter if it's on the glacier, in the forest, on the mountain, or an open sea. Important is that you'll be found very quickly. And that's the purpose of the Air Marker.
Then there are fast boards. These are the ultimate rescue tools with multifunctional stretcher that isn't just for carrying injured individuals. They also double as a shield against gunfire and even a battering ram for emergency situations. And finally, drones and AI, revolutionizing disaster response drones equipped with thermal cameras can locate survivors trapped under rubble, while AI-powered big data analytics predict disaster patterns and optimize relief efforts. So, stay safe, stay prepared, and stay tuned for next week's Tech Pulse, because the future is now. Let's find out what's happening on social media.
So, what's getting the most attention online? Let's take a look. According to the principal, Reverend Claude Ellis, over 70% of Permacal High School's 220 grade 7 students struggle with reading, with many unable to recognize alphabet letters. He says most of these students can only read at a grade